Thank you very much. So I'm the last presentation before lunch, so there's going to be good music that will hopefully wake everybody up. So thank you, Media Post. This is my first, hopefully, of many conferences. It's been great to meet everybody here. It's been a nice few days, and hopefully we'll continue to enjoy the connections over the next few days, today and tomorrow. So if we can go on to, oh, do I have a clicker or no? Oh, okay. I'll guide it. Thanks. Sure, okay. So, Altermark, I'm going to give you a little intro into who we are, and then we'll go into case studies. It's been great to see all of the clients here presenting successful out-of-home cases. I think that's all we really have, and obviously the truth is in what we've seen, that out-of-home really does work. A little bit about what we do. We've been around, as Steve said, for a while, 37 years. The agency started in Rio as the first out-of-home agency. My partner's father was from Spain and brought the Carnival, the circus, to Brazil and started putting paper up around Brazil, and that's how the company started many, many years later. And so what is it that we do? We are a one-stop shop. Data is in our DNA, and we have a lot of media experience. Everybody that works for us does 100% out of home. And in terms of mission, you know, we're understanding the market, the formats, and the technology, and we're delivering efficient plans to our clients. As I mentioned yesterday, it's a really tough industry to manage. There's a lot of moving pieces. And so over my 20 years of out-of-home, I have looked at what the problems have been, and I've tried to resolve them. So Altermark started in 1987. That's our bread and butter, planning and buying. And then we realized, what are the problems that exist and how can we resolve them? And so we started to create an ecosystem so that our campaigns had fewer problems and we could deliver to our clients everything that they wanted in terms of out of home. So the first creation was Labs, which is our creative team, and you'll see their work in the case study. So this is a team that sits in-house and they develop for out of home. So they know the rules and regulations in every city. They know where you can do an extension, where you cannot do an extension, where you can wrap a building, where you cannot. And so the proposals that we send to clients are ready to execute. They also do creative, which we spoke a little bit yesterday at our roundtable. They do specs. They do resizing of key visuals, and that's huge because in the US, it's a very organized industry. We have billboards. They're all 14 by 48. Leave the US, it doesn't exist. And there's, you know, any vendor puts up any size, more or less. So just resizing for out of home is very, very challenging. And so Labs does that, resizing. And then the more fun part, which is the creative. Go alt, data, the new currency. You know, since I've started working in out of home, the debate has been data. I think we have a lot of data, and I think we can prove exactly what's going on. So I'm not sure, other than I saw and I bought, obviously, which is really important. But in terms of who's around, who do we target, how do we target, micro-targeting, the data is abundant, to say the least. And so you'll see a little bit about that system. And then once you see my favorite group, content, because we used to work really hard on campaigns, and then we get installer pictures, and it would kind of be like, ugh. So now we have cool videos with nice music, which you'll see in the case study. And most clients prefer that over the data reports. And so those are the 4 groups that are in-house and have created our ecosystem. So Mercado Pago is a really fun case study. This is a virtual wallet. They're part of Mercado Libre, which is the Amazon for Latin America. And so what was our objective? We needed to stand out during Carnival. Tons of people in the streets, tons of sponsors. We needed to make the brand connect with the culture. The creative really connected with the culture. It referenced Carnival, and it said that that Mercado Pago is like Carnival. It's going to just get more interesting each day, and it does. I mean, with the people you meet and the things that go on, it's very, very fun. For those of you who have not gone, you must go. So the challenge was obviously we were across 3 markets, and we needed to be careful with regulations because of sponsorships, because some sponsors were taking certain formats, so we didn't have access to the whole inventory. So we had to pick and choose wisely. We also worked together with Ambev they sell beer on the corners and whatever. So we made a deal with them that whenever anyone used Mercado Pago to pay for their drinks, they would get 5% off, and that worked really, really well. And the strategy you'll see in the video. So let's move on. So, okay. This video is kind of long, so enjoy.
Vem pro bloquinho do Mercado Pago, banco digital em que seu saldo em conta rende como Carnaval.
So we had audio in the metro stations and inside the trains. And the objective was obviously follow the Carnival people that are partying. And so a lot of transit, a lot of streets, a lot of activations, a lot of handouts. It was a mixture of digital, a mixture of static. And that was created. So that's a media that didn't exist on the corners, on the street signs, which we obviously figured everybody would be looking at to figure out what bloco they're going to or what carnival party. And so we spoke with the government, got permits, and put up these little stands in the street corners. That's Labs, the cute clocks with an extension on them of a carnival decor or costume.
Perdeu o celular no bloquinho? Com o Banco Digital Mercado Pago, você indica uma pessoa de confiança para reportar o problema e sua conta fica o quê? Protegida.
You can imagine the spec sheet for this campaign with the amount of formats. It was intensive, to say the least. And so in this campaign, you see the four groups that we have in the Altermark ecosystem. You see the traditional planning and buying. You see Labs, which managed all the creative, helped them with they sent us a key visual and we helped them edit it to increase logo, adjust colors. And then you see 12C that does all the footage for us. And that's an in-house team because many times a client will have a campaign and say, I need a video tomorrow. And so we, the content for us has become, the campaigns become content for the brands. They share them on social media. Whenever we connect with any sort of influencers, same thing, it gets put into the content and that becomes additional impacts and viralizes, in truth. Okay, so a little bit of the summary. We work together with Mercado. Actually, Mercado Libre is our client, and so this is just an extra brand that they have. Not an extra, but a new brand that they have. And so now we're doing all their out-of-home as well. Obviously, we have, a massive amount of impressions. And obviously, in terms of site launching, this was siloed, so out-of-home during Carnival it was a 2-week campaign. We had just out-of-home, so we were able to really create metrics that showed the effectiveness of the out-of-home campaign. So they had a 32% uplift in site visits and 20% increase in the app download. And that was great because the app is the only way that you can, it's a virtual card. There's nothing, you can't go to the website and do anything else. And so the app is crucial for them. And then, what made it successful, I think, is the 4 groups, right? So we manage everything. We held the client's hand. We walked them through everything. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's a very hectic, chaotic time in Brazil. There's a lot of brands that want to be seen and take advantage of the amount of people that locally, nationally, as well as internationally come and visit. And so, basically what we did with them is we help them analyze where the audience was going to be. We'll say, oh, it's Carnival, everyone's going to be there. Go Out is part of what we use to make sure that every campaign is tracked. So it's our proprietary database where we can have all the information from mobile, as well as all of the external sources, third parties that we subscribe to and pay a lot for. All the data gets plugged in, and we do pre, during, and post-campaign analysis. So the metrics all come from our team. And we do also extraction in terms of media analysis. So every client understands the impact of the locations based on mobile data. And that's extremely, extremely helpful. Here they can come in. Everybody has access themselves to the portal. And they can at any point understand how much they're spending on production, how much they're spending on media, where the impressions are, and where they're coming from. And so, as we mentioned, creative, and I think that was another big part of the campaign. 3 awesome sources, advertising research, Federation, Kantar, and Harvard. Creative matters. Creative really, really matters, and that's what drove a lot of the campaign. And content, just recapping. So this is Pedro that runs our 1-2C team. He's like, please don't put this picture. This is what these guys do. I mean, and we train every photographer to capture out of home the way it needs to be captured, because it makes a big difference. So this is coming out of a tunnel heading into Copacabana, and he's sitting on the floor, I think flying a drone. And so this, being able to manage where the issues and the problems occur has really allowed us to reduce the amount of problems that the clients come to us with. And that's really what we wanted to do, because out of home is, again, we're masochists in doing this because there's a lot of moving pieces. So we've tried to create a hub that's safe, and whenever there's a problem, we can quickly resolve it and kind of manage everything ourselves internally. And that's it. I made it quick so everyone can go have lunch.
Claudia, but we do have time for questions. Anybody?
Hi, Rick Robinson with PGX Media.
Hi, Rick.
We've been sitting next to each other all day.
Yeah.
What didn't you buy? I mean, this sounds like a flip question, but what did you miss?
We didn't do shopping malls because no one's shopping. Basically, the city shuts down with Carnival, and everybody's literally the country shuts down, and so everyone's on the streets. So probably shopping malls.
Then just added to that, were there layers like in other venues that we didn't see, like bars or restaurants?
Yeah, we had mobile chargers inside bars.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And how long was it?
It was 2 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You were trying to drive specific behaviors in addition to just overall brand building, right?
Exactly.
You wanted them to download.
It was awareness and download.
So
both
what did you learn along the way in the lead up to this to decide on what kind of creative was going to drive the behavior?
Simple and to the point. I mean, a lot of people have probably had a few alcoholic beverages and other substances in the streets, so we wanted to make it very clear to understand the messaging. And it's a new color for Mercado Libre. Mercado Libre is yellow. That's how they're known. And so Mercado Pago is blue. So we brought a new color to a familiar brand. And so the color was a big deal. So there was a lot of the blue in the handouts that we did, and all of the media. The blue was the essential part.
And after the campaign, do you have a sense of what the velocity of, say, downloads and behaviors you were seeing and how this sort of trickled out over time, how long the impact lasted, how much you were seeing sort of during the event as opposed to later?
Yeah, so we will know that soon because this occurred just in February. So we're tracking how that's changed. But yeah, I can report back.
Okay. You just bought a ticket to come back.
Yeah.
Claudia, thank you so much. That was
Thank
great.
you. Thanks.